Hi, this is the History of Israel podcast, an Each My Own Beat podcast. Over the coming weeks, months, and years, we'll be discussing the history of Israel. This is not a podcast to say which side is right, which side is wrong. It's not a podcast to talk about the war which is happening in Palestine. It's just simply the history of Israel.
Welcome back to episode 38 of the History of Israel podcast. Name of Syria Palaestina. The name Syria Palaestina was introduced by the Roman authorities in the aftermath of the Bar Kokhba revolt from 132 to 136 AD, when the province of Judea was renamed. Most scholars interpret the renaming as a deliberate attempt by the Romans to suppress Jewish identification with the land and erase provinces' association with the Jewish people. While the Romans frequently renamed provinces for administrative and or political reasons, the renaming of Judea is widely regarded as unique, as the only known case where a province's name was changed explicitly as punitive response to a rebellion. The precise date and motivations behind the name change remain uncertain, though circumstantial evidence points to Emperor Hadrian's involvement. Coins issued by Hadrian before the revolt still refer to Judea, while a military diploma from 139 CE already uses the name. The former name carried a clear ethnic association with the Jewish people, whereas the new designation was devoid of explicit ethnic connotations. The renaming coincided with broader Roman efforts to suppress Jewish national identity, including the imposition or restrictions of Jewish religious practices, the expulsions of Jews from Jerusalem and its surrounding area, and its refounding the city as Aelia Capitolia. Classicist Louis Feldman writes that the aim was to obliterate the Jewish character of the land, with the name of the nearest tribe being applied to the entire area. Writing that the term Palestinia had previously referred mainly to the coastal region inhabited by the Philistines in the Iron Age, and the early Roman authors typically distinguished it from Judea. By applying the name of the neighboring people, the Philistines, to the entire region, the Roman authorities sought to symbolically sever the connection between the Jews and their ancestral homeland. Historian Ze'ev Safrai writes that the renaming was motivated by the effort to wipe out all memory of the bond between the Jews and the land. Historian Werner Eck writes that the renaming was a deliberate and exceptional act of punishment, rejects demographic explanations, pointing to rebellious provinces such as Germania, Pannonia, and Britannia, which retained their names despite revolts and population loss, and emphasizes that the Judea alone lost its ethnically derived name as a symbolic measure to punish Jews and sever their connection to the land. Alongside the dominating explanation of renaming the punishment, there were also other theories. David Jacobson suggested that the renaming may have been a practical choice, intending that reflect the Roman province encompassing a much larger area than the traditional district of Judea, and to draw the name with ancient regional associations. He also notes that the name was historically linked to the broader region of Greater Israel. The name Syria Palaestina was already in use in Greco-Roman world at least 5 centuries earlier. Herodotus, for example, used the term in the 5th century BC when discussing the component parts of the 5th province of Achaemenid Empire, Phoenicia, Cyprus, and that part of Syria which is called Palestine. Historian Seth Schwartz writes that the name was intended to celebrate the de-Judaization of the province. Historian Ronald Syme suggests that the name preceded the revolt, possibly reflecting Hadrian's decided opinions about Jews. Some authors in the late antiquity, such as Galen, Celsus, Dio, Cassius, Origen, Eusebius, and Jerome, continued to refer to Judea out of the habit due to prominent association with the Jews. This included an inscription from Esopus from 170 to 180, honoring the wife of a figure known as Aurelius Claros, who had the epithet ruler of Judea, decades after the recreation of Provincia Judea as Syria Palaestina. Despite the Syria in the name, Palestine was independent of Roman Syria, even to a greater extent than before, since instead of legatus Augusti pro praetor, a higher-ranking governor of consular rank now presided over the region. This, in turn, was probably due to the fact that the addition to the already existing legion in Caesarea, a second legion was stationed in Lego, increasing the military importance of the province. Exactly when the legion was moved to the rank of governor's post increased matter of debate in the cases. These events most have occurred before the governorship of Quintus Tinus Rufus, who took office no later than 130.
This has been the History of Israel podcast. Check back every Wednesday for new episodes. We're available on Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, as well as Spotify. We also have each episode streaming on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. We're available on eatmyownbeat.com as well as the History of Israel podcast on Facebook.